Okay, welcome again to Beginner School and Renewing the Renaissance. I'm Kent Kidwell, and I'll be going through the ear instruction here, just showing you mostly the anatomy and some little tricks to help you with to doing the ear over and over again and having it look pretty dang realistic every time. There's it's not that complicated, and believe it or not, the ear can actually be easy to do once you've mastered the internals of the structure of the ear. So I'll be going through this and some of the names that you'll find on the ear of some of the parts, but those aren't nearly as important as just remembering the shape of the ear itself, and so that you can recall it whenever you need to sculpt a head. So right now all I'm doing is taking this clump of clay I had, which is another 2-inch ball of clay, and I'm just generally starting to shape in my ear form. And I'm again going to be using this tool, which is a rounded kind of semi-sharp tool that helps me get into the little details. And then, you know, I've got some little, again, facts about the human ear that are kind of fascinating. So for right now, this is slightly above life size, or slightly bigger than life size, possibly 1.5 times life size. And the reason I don't have a problem doing that is because I want you to see the details, and since we're not sculpting it onto a human form or anything, it doesn't make a difference. So for right now, I'm going to start off by creating this sort of a 9 shape, which is just the form of the outer top of the ear. The helix is what they call it, which is this rounded section. I'm going to push and build that out a little bit so it protrudes a little bit outward. So again, this shape right here is called a helix, and it's that rounded, soft, kind of pliable tissue or cartilage that you can reach up and feel on your own ear anytime you want. There we go. And this goes inward into the ear canal area. So for right now, I'm just going to build it around like that, and then we'll add those details with my sculpting tool. And then on the inside of the ear, you have some interesting shapes. But for right now, I'm just trying to get this shape done. Oops. Okay, I'm not even worried so much about the outside or the underside of the ear right now. I want to make sure the inside of the ear looks right. So now that I've constructed that outer portion first, is the very first thing that I do, because this will determine the size of the ear and the placement of the ear and how far it protrudes from the head, and all those things you can determine just by doing this 9 shape right here. Okay. So we have the lobe right here, or the lobule, and on the inside of the ear right here, I like to start by moving into this, what they call the ear notch, which is right here. And I'm going to go ahead and dig that out of there, just like that. All right, and this is the beginning of the what they call the concha, which is this section on the inside of the ear. It's like the start of it. This little notch, it goes in fairly deep. You can reach up and feel it on your own ear, and it comes around like this concha, which is basically I mean, to get technical about it, what it is that the sound hits the ear and rides in through these little passageways that you feel there, and then shoots inside the ear canal. So what this concha is almost like in a drum, you have that section that creates the bass or whatever. That's kind of what's going on with this form right here on the inside of the ear. It catches sound and then funnels it into the inner ear. And it's pretty amazing the the design of the human ear and how well it functions, especially when you get on the internals and all the amazing things that are going on in there. So, like I said, I've started building this form here. Now the Concha, I guess, is like a backwards C shape. I don't know, I'm trying to relate it to some form, but it really is just like that. All right, and then this bit of cartilage actually is undercut pretty heavily right here. And then there's a fossa right in here. And I think I've learned from my experience with anatomy that fossa means indent. I know it must be Greek or something, but I'm pretty sure that that's what that means. But there's a kind of a Y-shaped form right here, and I'll do my best to demonstrate that. You have taking out more of the material at the top of the ear here, and I'm going to really try and clearly show what I'm talking about with this Y shape. So again, we've refined this shape of the 9, going down and around and then coming on the inside here. Now this part right here drops down, this line, or this bit of cartilage actually drops down inside the concha, just like this. Just drops right inside there. And then this part, this Y shape, and I say a Y, it's just like a, you can see right here, these two ridges run together like this, and then they follow all the way around the outside of the concha. And that's called the AntiHelix. So you have the helix, and then you have the AntiHelix right here on the inside. So here we go. I'm going to clean that up so you can see what I'm talking about. Now this little appendage that kind of pokes out and sits right over the top of your ear canal is called a tragus. This thing right here. The nipple of the ear. Just kidding, I don't know what another way to describe it, but it's like just right there, this rounded form or protuberance that comes out right there. And then it's right over the top of that notch. Okay. So right in there, right in that spot right there, underneath that tragus is your ear canal. And so all these sounds come in here and bounce around and then flow right down inside that ear canal. And what's interesting is on the inside of the ear, a little bit of trivia, I guess. It's not so trivial when you don't have one, but on the inside of the ear, there's a small seashell-like form on the inside of your ear. And I can't remember the name of it. What was the name of that? It's called a KO Kalia, I think is what it's called. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that properly. Anyway, it's a seashell-like shape that actually takes the sound waves you're receiving and turns them into electrical signals and transports those to your brain to be kind of translated by your brain. So now that we've started to clean this up a little bit, you can see that this part right here at the bottom of the notch there, it kind of sticks out a little bit. So although it may seem like a no big deal, a small thing, these little things kind of, you know, when you add them, they really kind of make the ear look nice when you add those little small details. So I'm going to make that look a little bit more refined there and sticking out a little bit more. Now around here at the bottom of the ear or around the sides, you'll notice that with some people this actually is quite dug out. So I could do that. I'm going to just take a little bit of the tissue out of there or the material. Just like that. And then again, this this fossa, this depression right in here above, and that Y-shaped anti-helix coming around and down, and then swooping down to the base of the notch, and so far we have what I think is pretty close to a really good anatomical ear form or shape. Sometimes this part right here will actually sink in a little bit more, and you'll have almost like a protrusion on the inside of the ear right here. It's not with everybody, but I'll go ahead and add it. So it comes upwards and then drops back down again towards the notch. So behind the ear is not a lot of detail. You're basically just looking at the shape, kind of cup shape that goes down and then rubs up against the side of the head. There's a small bulge back there. Right now we'll just focus on just the ear shape as we see it. This part right here, this is what they call the lower crux of the anti-helix right here. And then here is the root or the crus of the helix right here coming together. I don't mean to get too technical about the names and stuff, but it's important to remember the shapes. And again, that drops down, that 9-shaped tip drops right down inside of the ear. Okay. All right, so now we have a basic ear form. I think it's pretty close. Now I'm going to just kind of quickly clean it up with my finger, and then I'm going to use some thinner to clean it up even more. And then this little bit, again, is deeper in there. So we're about ready to wrap this one up. I'll just go ahead and finish up the clean on this. All right, just using my finger, I can do a pretty good job of smoothing. A little bit more shaping. All right. Okay, I'm going to throw some paint thinner on there, and hopefully it'll look nice and realistic. Actually, it's a little heavy on the on that, so I might cover that down a little bit. There. A little bit better. Now I could refine this probably for a while, so I think that we get the general idea of it. Again, the outside 9 shape, then the Y shape on the inside, and those are 2 main parts of the form, and we're good to go. Thanks again for joining us with the Beginner School, and we're doing the Renaissance, and please join us again for the mouth, which is to follow this one. Thanks. Bye.